President Biden made it crystal clear the U.S. stands with Israel and will support the Jewish state in its efforts to defend itself against the horrific terrorist actions of Hamas.
And let there be no doubt, the United States has Israel's back. We will make sure the Jewish and democratic state of Israel can defend itself today, tomorrow, as we always have.
Biden called the acts by Hamas pure, unadulterated evil and announced 14 innocent American citizens died in the bloodbath that claimed more than 1,000 lives and confirmed Americans are among hostages being held.
Hamas does not stand for the Palestinian people's right to dignity and self-determination. Its stated purpose is the annihilation of the state of Israel and the murder of Jewish people. They use Palestinian civilians as human shields. Hamas offers nothing but terror and bloodshed with no regard to who pays the price. The loss of innocent life is heartbreaking.
Biden spoke to Prime Minister Netanyahu for the third time Tuesday, telling him he supports a swift and decisive response from Israel.
Like every nation in the world, Israel has the right to respond, indeed has a duty to respond to these vicious attacks.
In an interview with CNN, John Kirby from the National Security Council became emotional discussing the human toll of the terrorist attacks.
Sorry, it's very, excuse me, very difficult to look at these images, Jake, and the human cost. And these are human beings. They're family members, they're friends, they're loved ones, cousins, brothers, sisters. Yeah, it's difficult.
Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell published a Wall Street Journal op-ed laying out 4 steps the U.S. should take to help Israel, including giving it the time and space to defend itself, offering intelligence support, bolstering America's national defense, and imposing costs on terrorists and countries who support them. President Biden also announced the U.S. is surging military support to Israel, and he's instructed his team to work with their Israeli counterparts to share intelligence, to work together to safely bring home all hostages. Gordon?
Well, Abigail, what kind of assistance, military assistance, are we sending to Israel?
Well, yesterday, President Biden says that the U.S. is sending ammunition and interceptors to help replace Israel's Iron Dome defense system. We know the first U.S. plane carrying ammunition and weapons arrived in Israel last night, and more are expected to come soon.
Can you tell us anything about the American hostages, who they are, any intel on where they are?
Well, the White House just said yesterday that they know there are about 20 Americans who are unaccounted for. But what they don't know right now is how many of these people are being held hostage, are possibly just still missing, or even potentially dead. The White House says they are working hour by hour to locate each one of these Americans and to determine exactly how many are being held hostage by Hamas. But right now, they're not sure.
All right, Abigail, thanks so much for the report. We'll certainly be praying for the hostages and praying for the peace of Jerusalem, praying for the peace of the Middle East, praying for the peace of the Palestinians. We need to pray now. As Christians, that's the best thing we can do as we're looking at this horrific situation. I do want to remind you that Hamas stands for Islamic Resistance Movement. They do not want a two-state solution. What they want is for Israel to be driven into the sea. So when you hear this phrase, and I think it's pure propaganda, that somehow there's a free Palestine, what that means is there's a one-state solution, a Palestinian state, with no Jews allowed. They will drive them to the sea. They will slaughter them, just as we just saw. The horrific attack where they were murdering babies, beheading babies. That is what this is all about. When you hear this other side that somehow Israel is an oppressor or it's an apartheid state, the reason they have the separation is they don't want to be killed. That's why they're trying to isolate them into particular areas. They don't want to die. I think that's a good thing to do, and we should support them.